Are you a fan of something and people just seem to hate that you are a fan of it and they argue with you and say how you're wrong and all that stuff? Well, I saw a tweet by Ray Reynolds, NMS. So he's in the No Man's Sky fandom. So am I. He said, unpopular opinion, being a fan of anything in 2026 is a humiliation ritual. Now, this is in response to someone who said that being a Doctor Who fan is a humiliation ritual. I like Doctor Who, by the way. I don't care if you are upset that I like it. So he goes on to say, social media has made fandoms so insular and self-hating that there's not a fandom, Twitter thread, or subreddit that isn't filled with people mistaking their opinions on the media as fact. Yeah, that is so true. There are a lot of people who seem to think that, well, from what I have seen, especially if with things like Star Trek versus Star Wars and other fandoms, you're wrong. People just have to argue and get extremely angry at you that you're even a fan of something. You can't just state that, hey, I like this, and then people will judge you for it. Now, in my own personal life, I actually don't tell people in general that I'm a Minecraft YouTuber. They probably wouldn't really understand, and they'd be like, oh, that's cute. Okay. And then they'll carry on, and they might be perplexed for quite a while. Okay. I usually tell people about my other job, in which I am helping university students with their writing. So I am I guess you can call it an academic writing specialist. And that's what I do when I'm not doing YouTube. But, there are things that I'm a fan of, and I personally do not care if you know. I have already done a video about things that I'm a fan of, and that was done a couple days ago. Or 3 days ago? 4 days ago. Yeah, anyways, it's on my channel, so you can actually go and see what I'm a fan of. And I didn't list everything. Like, there are some things that I usually just don't even mention because it's not really worth mentioning, because most people just are like, huh? I don't know what you're talking about. Never heard of it. So I mostly just mention the things that are fairly well known, right? And that's what I did in that video. Like some other things, let me see. What are some interesting things that people don't really know or hardly know at all? I never talk about music. I'm not the kind of person who really gets crazy about a band or something, or a singer. I like weird... That was noisy. I like Weird Al Yankovic. He's funny. He's good. And his one of his albums, or it was a CD actually. One of his albums was the first album I ever bought. Yeah. And I hardly have anything else. So, but Weird Al he's very famous, so that doesn't count. Let's see. I like Bandmade. That's gonna make you probably wonder who, and then you'll go search, and it's like, oh, you like Japanese rock music? I've never really thought about Japanese rock music. It's just that they've got a good sound and they're talented. So yeah, I don't really ever talk about music because I was never musical when I was a kid. I hated music. I Not that I didn't listen to it. There's a lot of stuff, 80s music that I always heard, 80s and 70s, because my parents and my sister always listened to them. So it's like I defaulted to them being the music I listened to. But yeah, like going back to Doctor Who, I watched Doctor Who a lot when I was a kid. When it was on TV, we had it on PBS, which is an American channel, but we had PBS here in Canada as well. And oh, this is water. But I used to watch back when Tom Baker was the Doctor. So he was my first exposure to Doctor Who, and I watched it every Saturday night. It was on for about an hour or so, sometimes longer than an hour. And then when it ended, like, oh, there's not going to be any more. And then, of course, it restarted in the 21st century. And I watched some, not a lot. I've been meaning to watch a lot of it. But I don't actually have access to it on any of the streaming services I'm on. So if you disagree with me that I shouldn't be a Doctor Who fan, then I don't care. So I'm the kind of person who is not affected by other people's opinion about what I like to do or what I'm a fan of. Yeah, guess what? I actually do enjoy Star Trek Discovery. I haven't watched the whole thing yet, but it's one of those things where, I just enjoy it. I enjoy watching the newer Star Treks, because it's more Star Trek. Star Trek Enterprise, I really enjoyed. I actually moved to Japan when it was still on TV, so I missed a whole bunch of it, and I still haven't watched the entire final season. No, I haven't. I eventually will. I'm going to have to. But I wished it went for the full 7 seasons that most likely would have gone, because that's how long Star Trek TV series went for back in the 80s and 90s. But yeah, I some of these Star Trek series that were hated, I enjoy. And I don't care. I really don't care. I like Minecraft, obviously. If I told people that, I don't really care what their reaction would be, but most cases, they would probably be asking, why do you like a kid's game? Well, the average age of players are all adults. But seriously, it really doesn't matter what people think of what I enjoy doing, because it's nice wolves back there, because it's not really any of their business. I'll enjoy watching what I enjoy watching, and what they have to say is unimportant. But what do you think in the comments below? Do you agree? Do you have another viewpoint? Let me know in the comments below. If you like videos like this and would like to see some more, then please consider subscribing to this channel as well as my main one. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.